For decades now, the Brazilian has been used to showcase many. Oh, I don't know what's going on there. I think that's the local hunt. But what many need to understand is that Max isn't a great of the sport in any way, shape, or form. Max is just. Why does it keep clipping in with the hunt? I really don't know. Anyway, I need to make an apology. In the video that I did yesterday as my review of the Brazilian Grand Prix, I made a mistake, a big mistake. I said that essentially all Max did was win a race where it had been interrupted with that many different incidents. Essentially, it had been neutralised after however many laps, and he only had to win. Only had to beat one car and win over, what the remainder of the race was. And I told you that the point of that was a resumption after the red flag. I was entirely wrong, because the reality is that it wasn't this point in time. It wasn't lap 34 where Max took the lead from Ocon and then just raced to victory. Oh, no, not at all. You see, we weren't done with the safety incidents at that point. When they got going, Ocon remained in the lead. Verstappen couldn't take him at that restart, and there he is, Verstappen in second place, 0.8 of a second behind. And then not long later on lap 36, Ocon is gapping Verstappen by 3.38 seconds. Who is the greatest we've ever seen now? Is it Esteban Ocon? Gapping Max Verstappen by 3.38 seconds. But Max manages to get it down to 3.26 seconds. Well done, Max. But then it goes out to 3.34 seconds when Ollie Behrman is spinning off the track. There he is, look. 3.427 seconds behind Ocon. Esteban Ocon! You are Esteban Ocon. But you see, and what you can see there is more than the visibility that most of them drivers were able to see. I mean, once you're out the front, then you do get relatively clear visibility. That's the best position to be in. Once you've got yourself out the front, then you're not having to follow the spray of the other cars. So it's very useful if you're out the front. So maybe it's not just Esteban Ocon being one of the greatest that this sport has ever seen. Maybe it was just the fact that in wet conditions, he was out the front. He found himself lucky to be out the front because he never actually performed a pit stop. He was able to change his tyres due to that red flag free of charge. So maybe Esteban Ocon was just lucky then, managed to get the jump at the start, got himself out the front, and then nobody else was able to follow closely behind due to all the spray and the poor visibility. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know what you think in the comments section. But here we are, lap 39, and we've got a Ferrari looking to go the wrong way around the track compared to the other two. What's going on here? I mean, in all fairness to him, Verstappen had got that 3.4 second gap behind Ocon down to 2.826 seconds. So he was on the charge. He'd managed to gain back 0.6 of a second, but was still 2.8 seconds behind Ocon. But no doubt with the aid of DRS, Verstappen would have eventually got him. But Carlos Sainz crashes out of the race, and what do we see? Safety car! And what do we know about the safety car? Well, we know from watching this channel, right, it's not that anything can happen, okay? What we know is there's a standard procedure, okay? Racing gets neutralised for all competitors. All previously built up advantages get wiped out. So despite the restart and Esteban Ocon being able to get the jump on Max at the first restart or the resumption after the red flag or whatever it was, and then Esteban Ocon gapping Max Verstappen by 3.5 seconds that Max had got back to 2.6 seconds. All of that is now once again wiped out, and we are starting from a clean slate, and everybody's been bunched back up, so all of them previously built up advantages has been wiped out. And that safety car incident, then with everybody bunched up, as you can see, Ocon's 2.6 second lead is wiped out, and there's Max now right behind him. And Esteban Ocon, he's not used to being the lead car at a safety car restart. Didn't do it very well this time, did he? Did Esteban? Unlike Max, Max is used to the safety car restart. Max has had lots of practice at the safety car restart. And anyway, lap 42, the end of lap 42, the track goes green again, so they can start racing again as of the start of lap 43. Okay, which is how many laps of that race then? That means that they can race for 27 laps. So what Max has got to do is, starting in second place, Max has got 27 laps. There's not going to be any pit stops really, no essential ones. You don't have a mandatory tyre change, that's already taken place now. So Max is in a position where he's got to beat one car and race for 27 laps in order for it to be a masterclass. Right, let me show you the previous masterclass. You see, turns out you don't even have to go back that far, only to the day before. Max on the Sunday had to race over 27 laps and beat one car, but the day before, Lando had to race over just 25 laps, difference of 2 laps, and beat one car, and Lando managed to do it then. So was it a masterclass from Lando in the sprint race over 25 laps, or was it a masterclass from Max in the Grand Prix where he only had to do essentially the same over 27 laps? Who did Lando have against him on the Saturday? Well, he had his teammate Oscar in equivalent machinery, supposedly. He had Charles Leclerc, who is challenging for the championship. He had Max Verstappen and triple world champion, challenging him as well. He'd got Mercedes star, their best ever driver, George Russell. He'd got last week's race winner, Carlos Sainz, all challenging. So the top 6, a highly competitive field of the top 6 competitors, all challenging Lando Norris, the greatest of all time, for that masterclass that he put on the Saturday. And what did Lando manage to do? Oh, he's gone and made a human error again, hasn't he? I said 25 laps, 24 laps. Oh, maybe actually Max's achievement on the Sunday, having to go a full 27 laps, was significantly greater than Lando's achievement on the Saturday, because Lando only had to do 24 laps and beat one car, whereas Max had to do 27 laps and beat one car. So it's a completely different scenario altogether. But on the Saturday, Lando was able to beat the car that was ahead of him and win that sprint race. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen was putting on another masterclass by going from 3rd on the grid down to 4th in that race. So that was the Saturday. Lando, the best you've ever seen, is able to have 5 competitors around him who are all, top 6, 7, 8 competitors on the grid, and he's challenging and beats them over just the 24 laps. Max, on the other hand, was in a race with the 2 lads from Alpine, who also benefited from the 0 pit stops. The free tyre change due to the red flag. All of the other cars lost time due to having to complete their mandatory tyre change during the race. So greatness, absolute masterclass that was, in conditions whereby, if you can't see, the best thing to do is just drop back a bit so you can see. If you're 2.5 seconds behind, then you kind of stay 2.5 seconds behind, because the guy out the front has got clear visibility and can see everything clearly with zero spray. And you follow him too closely and you're not seeing a lot at all. So you soon drop back 3.5 seconds and you get gapped by somebody like Esteban Ocon. But, you know, we're going to still get fed the GOAT narrative. Oh, it was a magnificent race from Max Verstappen, starting in 17th and making it to first place. You know, ignoring all the safety cars, ignoring all the times that the race was neutralised, ignoring all of the times where the amount of time that Max was behind the guys that were in front of him got wiped out, ignoring the fact that he got a free change of tyres where the others lost race time as a result of that. Ignoring all of that, Max is the greatest, and what we saw was a masterclass. But let's actually not ignore some of this, and let's actually determine whether Max actually went from 17th to 1st, on the grounds that Max was in 17th position supposedly on the grid. But how many cars were ahead of him when that race started? Well, let's have a look, shall we? Because we'll go down this list here. The car in 10th, Lance Stroll, didn't make the start of the race. He crashed on the formation lap. Didn't race. The car in 7th place on the grid, Alexander Albon, didn't make the race. They couldn't get his car ready in time. So there's 2 cars out of it from a start. So actually, Max is essentially 15th. Of those 15, 14 ahead of Max. So it's not as though Max has gained 16 places. 2 of them are out. Okay? So they're a waste of time. We might as well say Max is essentially 15th because he's the 15th place competitor. So going up the grid from Max, who have you got? Ollie Behrman, new guy, can't really drive in the wet, as we saw. Okay? Not much contest. Lewis Hamilton, driving a plank. Driving on a knife edge on that thing. Mercedes blatantly trying to sabotage him so that George Russell appears to be the better driver this year. So it appears that Mercedes are building for the future with the right way. It's a complete facade. Pierre Gasly. Yeah, enough said. Sergio Perez. Oh, is he going to challenge Max? No! That's one of the lads that will just roll out the red carpet for Max. So we've gone from 15th. You say 17th. 2 aren't there, so it's 15th. Hamilton's driving a plank. That's one of them easily out the way. Behrman, easily out the way. Perez, the teammate, easily out the way. Valtteri Bottas in a stake F1 Team Kick Sauber car. They're shit. We know they are. Easily out the way. Then we've got, Lance Stroll's already gone. Roadblock Alonso loves Max Verstappen. He just waves him through as well. So that's him out the way. Oscar the pastry. Oscar didn't even challenge Max Verstappen. Oscar Piastri waved Max Verstappen through. So much is the relationship between Oscar and Lando. Then we've got, Alex Albon, already out of the way. Charles Leclerc, the only guy that defended against Max Verstappen. Max didn't overtake him. Max only got past him when Ferrari pitted Leclerc. There you go. Liam Lawson rolled the red carpet out. You got the 2B team lads to help you. So of the 3 lads of the 15 that were in that race ahead of you, Max, 3 of them just jumped out of the way of you. But not only did they just jump out of the way of you, they actually held it up. They were the cork in the bottle. So although George and Lando were getting away, nobody else, like Yuki, was keeping everybody back, so you could kind of catch up with everybody else and they didn't get too far ahead of you. The field didn't get too spread to enable Max to catch up, and then people, as they pitted, got out of your way, or just rolled the red carpet out, got out of the way of you, Max, so you could go through, because Helmut Marko wouldn't be very happy with them if they didn't get out of your way. And then we had the yellow flags, the safety cars, the red flags, the safety cars, and then we ended up with a 27 lap race, a 27 lap sprint, effectively, where you just had to beat an Alpine that had didn't done you the last time. He'd beaten you off the start the last time at the restart, but this time he couldn't repeat that. You got the jump off him off the start, and then he couldn't stay with you. Oh, well done you. Well done you. Masterclass. Masterclass. But what we get is GOAT narrative. Masterclass start to finish. And that's been put out by Formula One. And that has been posted then by Oracle Red Bull Racing. And the strap-on fanboy will be really excited about that. They'll read that and they'll go, "Ah, that was a masterclass of driving in the wet." Because that's what you think you're seeing. Because that's what you have been told you're seeing. And you don't know what you're talking about. Because you don't know what constitutes being a masterclass. 27 laps of racing, because up until that point, racing then got neutralised. Racing was neutralised. That turned that Grand Prix into a 27 lap sprint. When that 27 lap sprint began, Max was in second place on a rolling start with an Alpine ahead of him. The day before, Lando Norris, from a static start, 24 laps, one car ahead of him. The cars around him weren't the Alpines, were they? Oh, Lando beat one car that was ahead of him over 24 laps. Was that a masterclass, everybody? Was that a masterclass from Lando on the Saturday? But 27 laps overtaking an Alpine on lap 1, is that a masterclass? Oh, because it's Max Verstappen, that's a masterclass, so you kids think. Now, I've used the analogy of the Matrix many times, and the sad thing is, there are many brain-dead people that are being fed the bullshit, and they are just lapping it up. And they're loving it. They're loving being fed the bullshit. They're loving being brain-dead, not able to see things as they really are, but they're enjoying it because it gives them what they want. But maybe this will work on you. The Matrix. Maybe this will wake some of you kids up, but maybe it won't.
The Matrix look like? Let me show you. Now, despite what you might be thinking, these two circles are not equal. I repeat, these two circles are not equal. One is in fact larger than the other. What I need you to do is determine which one that is. Please raise your hand if you believe the blue circle is larger than the red. Alright? Please raise your hand if you believe the red circle is larger than the blue. Alright, very good. Now, before I said anything about these two circles, what was your first instinct? Equal, right? Because they look equal. And the reason why they look equal is because in fact they are equal. These two circles are identical. Yet I got just about every one of you to raise your hand and say that they're not. So what did we learn? That you can be manipulated like that to believe in something that goes against your natural instincts. Just imagine as a child you're taught that the blue circle is larger than the red. If you say it enough times, you convince yourself that's the truth. If you're told the lie enough times, it becomes part of your reality. And if enough people are taught that lie, that the blue circle is larger than the red, well, now it becomes part of the culture. And if that culture then passes that misinformation along to the next generation, well, now it becomes tradition.
If the media matrix say it enough times, then people will believe. People will believe. But all you have to do is just ignore reality of what happened the day before over 24 laps. Because really, what happened on the Sunday, well, all that went before it, well, what really happened? All them gaps kept constantly getting cancelled out. How many seconds did Max gain due to this cancellation? How many due to that cancellation? What did he gain due to the red flag? Who lost out due to pitting in racing conditions? Who didn't? And yet they don't tell you that, do they? They pretend that over the race duration of 70 laps. Max has gone from 17th to 1st. Context. Remember, 2 weren't there. That's just 15 to 1st. Hamilton, driving a plank. Behrman, 3rd Grand Prix, not used to the wet. Perez, teammate, jumps out the way. Bottas, in a kick Sauber, waste of space. Roadblock Alonso, jumps out the way. Piastri, didn't defend. Lawson, Sonoda, jumped out the way, act as a cork in the bottle so that those in that region didn't get too far up the road. Everybody else pitted, apart from Ocon. So all Max had to do was get by Ocon. And you think that's a masterclass? You think that's a masterclass of a driver making his way through a field of quality drivers to earn a victory? You're being lied to. But not only will you not see it, you don't want to see it. You don't want to see it, and you're incapable of waking up to see what the true reality is. But this is the world of Formula One. They lie to you, they hype it up, they create the fake drama, and if you like the outcome, you're going to believe in it. This is what they're doing to you in everything in life. They're inciting people. They know what they're doing. They're doing it on purpose. They want the conflict. They are the ones that are making money. The ones that are feeding the information into everybody's brain. They are the ones who are making the money. It's all done by design.
So what do we learn? That you can be manipulated like that to believe in something that goes against your natural instincts. Just imagine as a child you're taught that the blue circle is larger than the red.
Just imagine as a child you're taught that Max Verstappen is the greatest ever.
If you say it enough times, you convince yourself that's the truth. If you're told the lie enough times, it becomes part of your reality. And if enough people are taught that lie, that the blue circle is larger than the red, well, now it becomes part of the culture.
These lies become part of culture. This is the damage that these people ruling society are doing.
And if that culture then passes that misinformation along to the next generation, well, now it becomes tradition. What does the Matrix look like?
Something like that, I think. Something like that. Anyway, thanks for your time on this one. I'm actually going to do a part 3 later, and I'm going to try and show some footage to actually break down some of the things that were on show at the Brazilian Masterclass. Thank you for your time.